Hello friends, welcome to Storytelling Station and I am Shodamnath and today I am going to tell you one detective story of Sherlock Holmes named The Adventure of the Beryl Coronet, written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. This is the first part of the story. Now let's start the story. As I stood one morning in our bow window looking down the street, I said, Holmes, here is a madman coming along. It seems rather sad that his relatives should allow him to come out alone. My friend rose lazily from his armchair and stood with his hands in the pockets of his dressing gown, looking over my shoulder. It was a bright, crispy February morning, and the snow of the day before still lay deep upon the ground, simmering brightly in the wintry sun. Down the center of Baker Street, it had been plugged into a brown crumbly brand by the traffic. But at either side and on the headed up edges of the footpaths, it still lay as white as when it fell. The grey pavement had been cleaned and scraped, but was still dangerously slippery, so that there were fewer passengers than usual. Indeed, from the direction of the Metropolitan Station, no one was coming save the single gentleman whose eccentric conduct had drawn my attention. He was a man of about 50, tall, portly, and imposing, with a massive, strongly marked face and a commanding figure. He was dressed in a sombre yet rich style, in black frock coat, shining hat, neat brown gaiters, and well-cut pearl grey trousers. Yet his actions were in absurd contrast to the dignity of his dress and features, for he was running hard, with occasional little springs, such as a wary man gives who is little accustomed to set any tax upon his legs. As he ran, he jerked his hands up and down, waggled his head, and writhed his face into the most extraordinary contortions. I asked Holmes, what on earth can be the matter with him? He is looking up at the numbers of the houses.
I believe that he is coming here.
Here?
Yes, I rather think he is coming to consult me professionally. I think that I recognize the symptoms. Ha! Did I not tell you?
As he spoke, the man, puffing and blowing, rushed at our door and pulled at our bell until the whole house resounded with the clanging. A few moments later, he was in our room, still puffing, still gesticulating, but with so fixed a look of grief and despair in his eyes that our smiles were turned in an instant to horror and pity. For a while he could not get his words out, but swayed his body and plucked at his hair like one who has been driven to the extreme limits of his reason. Then suddenly springing to his feet, he beat his hand against the wall with such force that we both rushed upon him and tore him away to the center of the room. Sherlock Holmes pushed him down into the easy chair and, sitting beside him, patted his hand and chatted with him in the easy, soothing tones which he knew so well how to employ.
You have come to me to tell your story, have you not? You are fatigued with your haste. Pray wait until you have recovered yourself, and then I shall be most happy to look into any little problem which you may submit to me.
The man sat for a minute or more with a heaving chest, fighting against his emotion. Then he passed his handkerchief over his brow, set his lips tight, and turned his face towards us, and said, No doubt you think I am mad?
Ah, I see that you have had some great trouble.
God knows I have. A trouble which is enough to unseat my reason. So sudden and so terrible is it. Public disgrace I might have faced, although I am a man whose character has never yet borne a stain. Private affliction also is the lot of every man, but the two coming together, and in so frightful a form, have been enough to shake my very soul. Besides, it is not I alone. The very noblest in the land may suffer unless some way be found out of this horrible affair.
Please compose yourself, sir, and let me have a clear account of who you are and what it is that has befallen you.
My name is probably familiar to your ears. I am Alexander Holder of the banking firm of Holder and Stevenson of Threadneedle Street. The name was indeed well known to us, as belonging to the senior partner in the second largest private banking concern in the city of London. What could have happened then to bring one of the foremost citizens of London to this most pitiable pass? We waited all curiosity, until with another effort he braced himself to tell his story. I feel that time is of value. That is why I hastened here when the police inspector suggested that I should secure your cooperation. I came to Baker Street by the underground and hurried from there on foot, for the cabs go slowly through the snow. That is why I was so out of breath, for I am a man who takes very little exercise. I feel better now, and I will put the facts before you as shortly and yet as clearly as I can. It is, of course, well known to you that in a successful banking business, as much depends of our being able to find remunerative investments for our funds as upon our increasing our connection and the number of depositors. One of our most lucrative means of laying out money is in the shape of loans, where the security is unimpeachable. We have done a good deal in these directions during the last few years, and there are many noble families to whom we have advanced large sums upon the security of their pictures, libraries, or plate. Yesterday morning I was seated in my office at the bank when a card was brought to me by one of the clerks. I started when I saw the name, for it was that of one other than, well, perhaps even to you I had better say no more than that it was a name which is a household word all over the earth, one of the highest, noblest, most exalted names in England. I was overwhelmed by the honor and attempted, when he entered, to say so, but he plunged at once into business with the air of a man who wishes to hurry quickly through a disagreeable task. He said to me,
Oh, Mr. Holder, I have been informed that you are in the habit of advancing money.
I answered, the firm does so when the security is good.
Oh, It is absolutely essential to me that I should have 50,000 euro at once. I could of course borrow so trifling a sum 10 times over from my friends, but I much prefer to make it a matter of business and carry out that business myself. In my position, you can readily understand that. It is unwise to place oneself under obligations.
For how long, may I ask, do you want this sum?
Next Monday, I have a large sum due to me, and I shall then most certainly repay what you advance, with whatever interest you think it right to charge, but it is very essential to me that the money should be paid at once.
Sir, I should be happy to advance it without further parley from my own private purse. Were it not that the strain would be rather more than it could bear, if, on the other hand, I am to do it in the name of the firm, then, in justice to my partner, I must insist that, even in your case, every business-like precaution should be taken, sir.
I should have much preferred to have it so.
He said, raising up a square black morocco case which he had laid beside his chair.
You have doubtless heard of the Beryl Coronet?
One of the most precious public possessions of the empire.
Precisely.
He opened the case, and there, embedded in soft, flesh-colored velvet, lay the magnificent piece of jewellery which he had named.
There are 39 enormous barleys, and the price of the gold casing is incalculable. The lowest estimate would put the worth of the coronet at double the sum which I have asked. I am prepared to leave it with you as my security.
I took the precious case into my hands and looked in some perplexity from it to my illustrious client.
You doubt its value?
Not at all. I only doubt.
The propriety of my leaving it? You may set your mind at rest about that. I should not dream of doing so were it not absolutely certain that I should be able in 4 days to reclaim it. It is pure matter of form. Is the security sufficient?
Ample.
You understand, Mr. Holder, that I am giving you a strong proof of the confidence which I have in you, founded upon all that I have heard of you. I rely upon you not only to be discreet and to refrain from all gossip upon the matter, but above all to preserve this coronet with every possible precaution, because I need not say that a great public scandal would be caused if any harm were to befall it. Any injury to it would be almost as serious as its complete loss, for there are no barleys in the world to match these, and it would be impossible to replace them. I leave it with you, however, with every confidence, and I shall call for it in person on Monday morning.
Did Alexander Holder giving him the money? What happened to the coronet? To know the whole story, subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon below. The next part is coming soon.